Hey all, it's Lawrence from Laurence Creates, and welcome back to the next part in our Making a Game Engine with Google's Skia. Now, in our last series, we sort of just got a start to everything and just drew some basic shapes onto the screen. And today, I want to try and basically make a start to our Sprite 2D class and just our Vector 2D class. And then by the end of the day, hopefully we'll be able to draw some shapes and some images through our game instead of doing it directly through the engine code. Now, as we've made this an abstract class, we do want to do a few things. Um, so let's create a couple of abstract voids. So public abstract void. We're gonna just call this one init. Next one, we're gonna say public abstract void. We're gonna call this one before update. Actually, no, we'll call this one before draw. And we'll call this one public abstract void after draw. So before draw is going to come before anything we do to our canvas. And then after draw is going to come after we draw everything. And then our init will come before we run the application. So this init method is what we're going to basically use to basically instantiate any sprites or objects that should go in there. And so now that we have that, we are going to just change our demo game. We just right click it, quick actions, and implement abstracts. It should also add all of these for us. So I'm just going to get rid of those for expectations. Now we have init, before draw, and after draw. It's given it to us back to front, but that's okay. We can deal with that. So now let's go ahead and create a new class. And this class we're going to be calling Vector2D. We'll call it Vector2, not 2D. And an internal class. I'm going to make it a public class. And this is going to have a public float x, public float y. And then when we initialize the class, we want to initialize it with an x and y value. And we're just going to say this x is equal to x, and then Visual Studio has just auto-filled everything out for us, which is great. And we might do a couple of helper functions too. So public void 0. And this is going to be a static. And this is just going to, this also needs to be a vector2. And this is going to return a new vector2. And it's just going to be set at 0, 0. And the next one, we're going to say vector2, 1. And this is just going to return vector of 1, 1. And that should be it for our Vector2 class. So I actually don't know if Skia has its own vector classes. I know it's got its own like we used some size stuff down here, some points and stuff. But yeah, we're gonna change things around. So instead of our engine needing actually we can leave this. This sort of simplifies things. So we'll leave that. But now with that, I think we are good to make our Sprite 2D class. So let's go ahead and create a new class. And this one we're just going to call Sprite. And we'll go add. Again, I'm going to make this a public class. Okay, and what we will do here is we need a couple of things. So I guess the first couple of things we need is going to be float, and this is going to be again. I mean, Visual Studio has auto completed for us again, so we have our x, y, width, and height, and then you're gonna create a public sprite. If that auto completes it, it does indeed. Okay. And let's see here. We basically want to do a couple of things here. So just trying to think here. Because we want images to be displayed as well as a couple of other things. So we're probably going to be needing to use Skia Sharp. I don't think we need to use Skia's desktop view. That's probably just for our main engine. And now with this, I guess I'll do want another variable. We actually want public string for image location. And so we'll have actually two types that we can do here. The end one being a string, the image location. I'll say image. Say this the image location equals image location. Okay. And I think that'll be it for just needing to draw an image. We could test that out. And what we will do now is we're going to create a public. Actually, no, we probably don't want it to be public. We'll make it a private list of sprites. And then we're going to want to create a public void. We'll say add a sprite. It's just going to be a sprite. And I mean, Visual Studio's intelligence seems to be getting everything on point today. So basically, add a function, add sprite, and then sprites.add. And then in our sprite, when we go ahead and create this stuff, we're just going to say create 2D engine dot need it to be a static public static void, and then the list we also need to make static so that that runs, and we should be good to add sprite, and we want to add this and the same thing down here. Okay, so happened here. We're declaring the field as nullable image location. Okay, well, I don't know why it needs that, but to make anything a nullable type, you basically just put a question mark in front of it. Super easy, but that gets rid of that warning for us. So, sorry, excuse me. What we can do now, we basically have all the stuff needed to create an image at location and set its width and height. What I want to do eventually is allow the sprite class to be able to draw like circles and squares and whatnot, which is why we have this empty container here which doesn't take an image. So we're basically going to be checking the basically the if we have an image location or not, and if we do, we're going to basically use the information for this. Otherwise, we are gonna maybe add a couple of extra parameters that tell us we want to draw a square or a circle or something like that. So that is going to be fine, I believe. Now we will just focus on drawing this image. So what we can also do as well, actually, we haven't done much debugging in the console, so let's start. We'll say debug.writeLine, and I'm gonna say sprite added, and me the x. This what I'm doing here isn't needed, but for debugging purposes, it will help us down the line. And we'll say width, width. Put everything here in brackets as well, just to make it nice and neat. And last one we're gonna add here is height. And we're just gonna copy that line here as well. But we add the extra parameter being our directory. And we're just gonna add the image location. Okay. Cool. So with that, we should get our sprites added to this list. And we no longer want to draw any of this stuff. So we're going to get rid of that. And the canvas color we'll make changeable after this. But basically what we're going to do is say for each sprite in sprites. Makes sense. And with that, now we no, actually, we want to go back to our sprite class because we don't want to draw things here. So this image location, underneath that, we're also going to add a public, I think it's SK bitmap, yes. And this is just gonna be called bitmap. And I'm actually gonna capitalize this. It annoys me that I've capitalized everything else, and I don't know why I didn't do that with that. And so okay, apparently this needs to be a nullable type as well. And what we're going to do now is when we initialize the image version of our sprite, we're going to want to use a file stream. And I'm just going to call this stream. This is going to be equal to a new stream. And this is where we want the image location. And then we also want, why did that? We want a file stream, not just a stream. Then we want to give it a type, and it's going to be file mode.open. Okay. So with that, I think as well, we're gonna give all sprites a default location, and that's gonna be in a sprites folder. We'll do / like that. So now what we want is to create a So we'll get the bitmap here. Oops. Bitmap. And that's going to equal a, get sk bitmap.decode. And then we want to put our stream through that. Okay. So now we should have a usable bitmap for us. So in our engine, we're basically going to say e.surface.canvas.draw bitmap. And we're going to pass our sprite.bitmap. And then we're going to create a, I think it's a skrect.create. And we're going to pass sprite.x, sprite.y, sprite.width, and sprite.height. And that is all we need to do to draw our images from our game there. So, what we are going to do. So I have added a image to the project. I think I've already opened it down here. Yeah, this is just the thumbnail for my last video. I believe it is anyway. Yeah, it is. So we're going to create a new folder called sprites. I'm going to drag that image in there. And so now you see, hopefully everything runs. So it doesn't break when we play without doing anything. We'll just try that first. Everything's running. Great. So what we're going to do now is in our demo game, sorry, when we initialize, just to try things out, we're going to say sprite temp equals new sprite. If you want to give this an X, we'll just say 50, 50, and we'll say 100 with the height of 50. And lastly, the image location, which I believe it's just image.png. So if we run that, we should now get my thumbnail. Yeah, there it is. And on top of that, we now have those debug lines as well. So it's sprite added x50, y50 with 100 and height 50. I didn't add the brackets there. I will quickly add those. There we go. Great. And now we should be able to change these dynamically as well. So if I, instead of making this just a variable within the init method, if I add that there, and we'll just say after draw, I think we can do temp dot x, and we'll just say plus equals 0.1, and hopefully we get the image moving. Fantastic. So now we have our image that can move. So with that, got our main sprite class done. Now, I haven't really thought this through how I want to be able to draw sprites. Think I think we might need a, let's try this. This is all experimental. I don't plan my tutorials when I do this stuff because it allows you guys to see where I go wrong and how I fix where I go wrong. This is all sort of just a process. And hopefully it teaches you guys a lot more than if I just sort of pre-scripted everything and had the code off on my other monitor and I'm just rewriting it out. At least this way you can see where I go wrong, when things don't work, how I fix the things that don't work. So this is just how I like teaching, and hopefully you guys enjoy this style. It's sort of just how I've always done it. I do still probably, I am going to do some short form tutorials, sort of my newer method that I've been doing the past maybe year or so. But yeah, for big tutorials like this is just how I do it. I stumble through it and give you guys the full scene of what I do, and hopefully it helps a bit more. So we're gonna create an enum, and we're gonna call it a sprite type. So gonna give it a couple. Circle. We could, oops, we could also just do none, and we'll say circle. And basically, what none will allow us to do is create an invisible object. So they could potentially be used as triggers later down the line when we set some basic AAB collision up. So I think we're just going to start off with none and circle. Just for now, just so we get the concept down and figured out, and then we might extend this later on. So basically what we're going to do now is create a public sprite type. I'm going to call this one type. So in here, because we don't set anything, we're going to say type is equal to sprite type.none. I'm going to copy and paste this again. However, we're going to say sprite type is equal to, we'll say sprite. What do we want here? Yeah, we'll just say sprite type. The position, the width, the height. I think everything's normal other than this. We'll just say type. Okay, and now I think that's really all we want. So if we go back to the renderer now, we're gonna say okay, let's try this. So if sprite dot type is equal to null, that we do that. It's always false. Oh, wait. Messing up here. We want none, and then we want image, and then circle. And then down in our image location, we're basically going to set type to image. Okay. And then we're going to create a switch. And this is going to be sprite.type. And we're going to say, we should be able to say case right. Oops. Sprite dot, no. Sprite dot sprite type. And we're going to say, first one was going to say none. We'll just break. We're going to copy and paste that and cover all of them. So we have now image. Oops. Image. And we have circle. So now if we add the image there, that should draw our image. And then circle, if we say it's e.surface.canvas.draw circle. And what can we add here? So we want okay, so we have the x, the y, and radius. So just for now, let's go ahead and do sprite.x, sprite.y. And the radius, we're just going to have a sprite.width. And then we'll have sk paint. This is something that we will do, but for now, let's just try this. So sk.paint. This, what And we have here paint. I think, how did we do this again? Was it color? Yeah, there we go. And then we should be able to say equals new going to color the pass. Do that. Okay, yeah. Let's try that. We won't be able to change the color of our circles, but just to make sure we still have that image drawing, we do. And what we're going to do now is say sprite circle equals new sprite. And we're going to have the x at 100, y at 100, and virus popping off. Let's go. Okay, and then we have the width, which is the main value, and we don't need anything for the height. And we're gonna say we're gonna want a sprite, sprite type, and that's gonna be circle. We can't change the color yet, but see here, there we go. We have a circle, and what I'm going to do is move this. Actually, that might be too much. We'll just move that 300, just so we can see the image and the circle. There it is. And now we want the colors. So in our sprite, we're just going to have a, we're going to create a new, how do we want this? Yeah, I think we're just going to create a new SK color. This looks like it wants to be nullable as well. This is going to be public. And we're going to create a public void color. Let's call this one sprite color and then the function color. And then we'll say sprite color is equal to sk color. We want to set this one to, whoops, new sk color. And have, did we have, let's see. Oh, okay, wait, it's all inside of that. So we have red. I think we can just, can we do this? Yes, okay. So in our color method, we're gonna say byte at once. So byte red, byte, is it RGB? RGB, yes. Green, byte blue, and byte alpha. Now we should just be able to say red, green, blue, and alpha. And now in our engine, instead of doing this, we're gonna say sprite.sprite. What's method? Wait, cannot convert. Not letting me do that because this one's nullable. Weird. Do it like that. No. I need this one to be nullable. Doesn't look like it. I don't know why it made it nullable. I thought it did that because it needed that. So we should be fine. setting it normally now. So now in our demo game, let's just see what happens if we don't set it a color. It's going to give us an error. No. So if we don't give it a color, it's not going to show. So we might want to give it a default color, but we'll just say circle.color. And let's just say we want to make it red. There we go. We have a red circle. So okay. I think I'm pretty happy with that. We don't. I think we've done everything I wanted to cover in this video. Let me just look over everything. We have images that we can draw. I mean, we can just do one final test here. I'm gonna create a circle, put that up there, and in the after draw, we're gonna say temp dot x plus equals 0.5. We'll say circle dot x. We'll say circle dot y minus equal 0.5. So we should have both of these guys moving. Yeah, we have the circle going up. Make the circle go down, and we can also do some fancier things. Well, we'll say circle dot width plus equals. We'll just make it shrink. We'll say minus equals 2. Okay. There we are. We have the circle shrinking, the image moving to the right. Alrighty, so for this episode, I think that's all. We're gonna leave it at that. Everything's looking good. Oh, actually, no. One last thing I forgot to do. We want to be able to set the color here. So what we're gonna do is create a SK color. We're gonna call this the background color. And what we're gonna do is say public void set background color. And we're just gonna say byte red, byte green, blue. You might need the alpha as well, so we'll just we're not gonna mess with the alpha. Alpha's gonna be fine. Leave it like that for now. So now we're gonna say background color equals new SK color. It should autofill those in for us. And now instead of the clear color being this, the clear color is going to be our background color. So now if we go into our init here, we should just be able to call the set background color. And we're going to say maybe a 55, 55, and 55. So if we go ahead and start, we should get a different color for our background of gray. Okay. So now we have the ability to put in images into our game, the ability to draw circles. We're going to expand that in the next episode as well, so we can draw other things, not just circles. But basically, the main thing I wanted to get done here is the image part. So the image part will basically allow us to build our game and make it look pretty by adding all our assets and whatnot. So I think that's it. I'm going to leave this episode here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I hope you guys are enjoying this series. Please like and subscribe and comment what you want to see in this tutorial series. Again, it's going to be kind of a short part, probably maximum 4 or 5 episodes. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.